Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I've got a nice balanced rack. It looks close to a bingo. I'm not seeing a 7. Could there be an 8 through the right floater? Well, quite possibly. I've got the AGE ending. I have gather as a 6-letter word, but the extra A doesn't look helpful. Now, 5 floaters to consider. Not seeing anything with the T. Gosh, if that A were an E, I would have gatherer. 3 A's. Doesn't look helpful. How about the M? No, not seeing anything. And P. I have graph with T. Not helpful. I don't think. And with AGE, heart. No, not seeing anything. So, what to do here? Do I have an extension from tramp down to the triple word square? No, I don't think so. Tramp takes an S in front for future reference. Do I have a double in row K? Not necessarily a bingo. Well, I think I do. Grandmaster for 40. Yes, fantastic. And although this rack isn't bingo-y, it's got scoring tiles and vowels to help get value from those tiles. So the J is the big tile. Grandmaster takes a B in front for future reference. Still no extension for tramp, and the only extension I can think of is tramping and trampled and trampler and tramples. So there are a few, but none with this rack. E doesn't take a J in front. It does take H and Y, so I could play YEH. I'm looking to play off 2 or 3 of my scoring tiles. The general rule of thumb is to retain a maximum of 1. I don't think I'm going to play off all 3. Grandmaster doesn't take anything at the end. Well, opponent goes in that spot for a handsome score. So I trail. What can I do? My N can go after ZE, as can the E. So I have G for 35, which is better than nothing, but the rack leave unpromising. Do I have any alternatives? What about a play from L1? UR takes E and N. No, not seeing anything. What other options do I have? Well, none that I can see, so I'm going with G for 35. And is Shingley good? I think it is. Does it play? Well, it does, because tramp takes an S on either end, so I may have a bingo here despite having only 1 vowel, but I'm not 100% sure of Shingley. So, do I have any alternative bingos? I do have the ING and INGS ending. What about the floating A? No, not seeing anything. I've also got LY and ILY as an ending. T and R are the other floaters. Not seeing anything with the T. How about the R? No, not seeing anything. A G takes an A in front, so opponent may be attracted to that J, which takes A and O underneath as well. Now, opponent has not blocked both spots for Shingley. He has blocked 1. So let's find out if this stays on the board. And it does. Fantastic. So I retake the lead. I've drawn a rack from hell. What can I do about this? Power is good, P-A-U-A. That plays above the eye of Shingley and also above axe and also to make a G. So I will be playing through this rack. I wonder if there were any other alternative bingos to Shingley. It was the only one I saw. 25 for opponent, that's good. But he's now blocked power in row F because aloe isn't good. I don't have any letters to go after axe. So I have power here for 20, fairly safe. It does take an S, but that's only available for 6 letter plays or 8 letter plays beginning with F. What about power in column 3? 23 points, which is 3 more, slightly more dangerous in that its S ending can be used as part of a bingo. So I'm minded to play where I am. I'm also hampering opponent from playing in row M. Am I missing anything? Any alternative plays to power? No, not that I can see. I am going with this. Pretty good. This looks jolly close to a bingo. Do I have one? I have tahinis on my rack, but the tramp front extension has been used. Anywhere else for tahinis? I don't think so. And does that have an anagram? I think it does, but it's not coming to mind. Do I have anything beginning with F? F something S? That would be pretty amazing. Gosh, close to Fistiana. No, not seeing anything. Still trying to work out this anagram of tahinis. I feel there is one. So what about the floaters? Floating T. I've got anti as a prefix. Now, a fire is good, so I have a tahini spot. Fantastic. Thank you, opponent. Tahinis for 78. Superb. So my lead now about 90 points. What do I have here? Well, not a great rack, certainly not a bingo-y one. I would have evoke onto an E. My K can go above the I of tahinis. Pretty clunky with K, U, and V, and duplicate O. Column 15 quite hot. Yeah, opponent goes there. Fortunately for only 21 points, the danger was a high-scoring tile going on this double letter square. Pax doesn't take anything. I don't have an A for Agi. I do have an O for going underneath. I have nothing which goes after Ur. No available E for evoke. Do I have anything with an out prefix? Don't think I do. Well, this is a tricky rack. Still both blanks to come. And given how grim my rack is, it would be quite nice to play off a lot of tiles. But where can I do that? I've seen no good plays from my rack. I have voter, keeping out. Can I do any better? These tiles are just so non-synergetic. No I for out Vi. What about a play in column 12? That would take out all of these floaters. Not that that's my priority. I'm mainly concerned with playing tiles from this rack. I could play Veto and JO, but that doesn't feel great. What about a 6-letter play ending in I? Not seeing one. What about a play with my K above the I? Wow, just not seeing one. And I don't think there is one. So what about OKE? 33 points. Well, I can't really complain about that from a score perspective. OH takes an S in front, but so does T, so I'm not really creating anything massive. I'm taking out the R as a floater. The rack lead is not great. However, I have the out prefix, and the V is a scoring tile, so I am going with this. And I dodged the blanks, but this feels a slightly better rack. Maybe that's just misplaced optimism. I've still got this UV combo. Through ER, I would have Wyvern. Through an A, I would have Wavy. Great, just 13 points for opponent. Do I have anything bottom right? Well, I don't think I do. No, I don't think I do. I don't have an A for unlay. No R anywhere for vrow. Gosh, what a tricky rack. Nothing goes in front of KI. 12 minutes on my clock. And just when I'd like to really turn over tiles to get these blanks, I have no candidate plays on my rack. What about doing this? Getting rid of my 2 worst tiles. 18 points isn't the worst score in the world. Rack leave has scoring potential for next turn. I'm stopping opponent from placing a big tile on the double letter square. The V is pretty hopeless as a floater for a row O bingo. I'm going with this. Okay, so what can I do here? I have Woolly on my rack. Surely I can play off a few more tiles with this rack. No bingo here. Yow is good and yowl, so I may be able to clear my rack out of the non-bingo-y tiles. Remaining tiles do look fairly bingo-y, especially with both blanks to come. And this D is dangerous. Row A is an 80 or 90 point bingo lane. Plus it'll be creating a new lane in row B. My lead currently over 100, which looks good, but an 80 or 90 point bingo would destroy that. And the remaining tiles are so bingo-y that, here we go. Opponent gets 86 points, doesn't use a blank, and what I was going to say is that he could well be drawing back-to-back bingos. So, what can I do here? I'm drawn to the O because W and Y can go there. But can I get rid of W and Y? R only takes an E. Gosh, win is good, but SN isn't. So I don't think I do have a way of playing underneath that O. I certainly don't have to play there. I would like to play off Y and W. Gosh, an opponent's drawn 7 tiles with 2 blanks unseen. I'm not in great shape. KI takes an S in front. What goes in front of OH that I've got? Just an O. 11 minutes on my clock. So what I could do is this. It's 20 points. I'm placing the W so that a scoring tile can't go on this double letter square. Rack leave is good. I'm turning over 5 tiles with 2 blanks unseen. I'm not setting up anything massive. I'm taking out a lane. I'm going with this. Okay, I missed the blanks. I do draw the Q. I don't have a U, but I have pretty much every Q-less short Q word in the book. Chi, chin, caddy, cade, cat, trank, and kindar and kintar. Will any of those play? Well, nothing's amazing has jumped out at me. I do have an A for add G, so I could play caddy and cade in column 3. I'm certainly playing the Q. But nothing huge. Any floating U's, all have been played. Dull and love, power and cuz, so no U's available. And no I's available on the board either. Opponent could have both blanks on his rack. I lead by 50. In a way, it would be better if he had both blanks than just one, because he may play one and then draw the second. I don't think there are any 8s with this rack. Great, just 17 for opponent. So do I have anything in row C? Don't think I do. I have chi and it, which takes out a lane, leaves a decent rack leave. Well, not a great rack leave, actually. I could draw 2 consonants. Let me check the remaining vowels. A lot of E's. 11 out of 22, very balanced bag. I'd still like to turn over tiles if I can. But what's the best I can do? Caddy and it. Just 18 points. That's pretty grim. Chin and no. 28 points. That's not bad. Especially with 3 N's to come. Chin and own. 30 points. Interesting. And this obstructs the row D lane, as would chin and no. 30 points keeping dart. That's pretty good. Am I missing something better? Anywhere for trank? Don't think so. Anything at the bottom of the board? Well, I don't have an E or S. Wow, row N is a good bingo lane. It doesn't get doubled, but anyway, you've got a 7-letter lane for bingos ending E and S is hot, and look at the number of E's to come. Okay, I am going with, where am I? What about caddy in column 3? So chin is 30. This is 39, keeping NRT. Setting up a new lane. What's better as a rack leave, dart or NRT? I'm actually going back to chin, because I want to get rid of the N with 3 N's to come. This rack goes well with an E. I quite like the fact that this is blocking row D. A bingo in row N is going to open row O, and I'm retaining an A for agi. I am going with this. Wow, I just draw 3 E's. Through an A, I would not have D aerate. Gosh. What to do here? Well, I have AE. And my lead just 50 points. That is going to go if opponent bingos. And I have no scoring tiles. If opponent bingos in row N, then I don't have a huge response in row O. Just 12 tiles in the bag, plus 7 on opponent's rack. No U's to come. What am I going to do with this rack? Well, I do have an E for going on the end of ID. The best rack lead would come from playing double E or D double E. Doesn't quite work under the O. But I'd like to keep scoring given how close our current scores are. Okay, just 21 for opponent. Sets up a new lane in column 2. And in row N. Stops me scoring off the J. Opponent plays the M when he had it for Z. Stramped may be good, but isn't great. So what to do? Just 9 tiles left. My lead, only 40 points. Wow, this is tough. Really tough. I could play DAE. 19 points, keeping tree. The A is quite useful since it's the last one. Do I have... Opponent could place his W or B under the O, which is a 30-point spot. So I could play date here for 22 points, taking out that spot. Not that that's my number one priority. Let me check the remaining vowels. 7 out of 16. Yeah, I don't think this is a terrible rack. It goes well with ends. Pretty much anything. I'm turning over 4 tiles. Is there a way of turning over more? 6 minutes on my clock. Own only takes an S. Just hope I'm not missing a bingo here, but I don't think I am. I don't have anything in row C. I do have longer words, tiered and D-rate. Just not seeing anywhere for them. Opponent perhaps signaled that he's got an S or one of the blanks. I'm going with date. Wow, pretty grim. Just drawing vowels. And an N. Surely opponent will be bingoing now, even despite the B and the W. With 2 blanks, one of them must be on opponent's rack. And look at this dismal rack. And I only lead by 59 points. 5 tiles left, so if opponent bingos, he will be emptying the bag. This is likely to be my last rack. And I can't whip it into shape. My only hope is that opponent doesn't bingo, but that's pretty unlikely. There are too many lanes. There's column 2, there's row N, both at the beginning and in the middle. 11 minutes on opponent's clock. Wow, that was a shocking pick. Just 3 vowels left. They're not going to be all in the bag. Opponent wouldn't have left himself with no vowels. What was his last play? MAE. Yeah, he would have kept vowels. I have no idea what I'm going to do with this rack, but it's so influenced by what opponent does. Wow, just plays 1 tile. So, is there 5 minutes on my clock? I could do with playing off 3 tiles. I'm likely to draw 3 consonants. I do lead. And what I have in mind is that if opponent bingos, maybe I can bingo back. Because column 2 is a good lane, as is row N. So I certainly want to play off E and I. I don't want to empty the bag. Gosh, what did opponent have to play off just the C? Goodness knows. Now, is there anywhere I can play off E and I? Lie. I don't think the score matters. I think opponent wins if he bingos and I can't, and I win if opponent bingos and I can, and I think I win if opponent can't bingo. So I could play off double E somewhere, but where? J double E. Don't like that. Wow, just 4 minutes on my clock. What about double E here? That's 11. What about lie? 4 points. Setting up a new 7-letter lane. Well, maybe that's a good thing. Takes an R. I've got one. Takes an N. If opponent bingos in row I, he'll be leaving alone row N for bingos ending in E. He'll be creating a column 1 lane. Can I do any better than this? 3 minutes on my clock. I can't see anywhere I can play off 3 vowels. What about row H, tire? $11 points. Leaving, well, I'd really like to play off 3 tiles. But I think I need to play something to give myself thinking time for a bingo. Yeah, I'm going with this. So I have ordinary. Fantastic. I have a bingo in column 2. I have a bingo in row N. Bring it on. An opponent may not have a bingo if he's got B and W. But what if he only plays off 1 tile? Oh, wow. Well, I think that's okay because I then survive a final rack bingo from opponent. Wow, I think this is a 1 game. Gosh, my heart sank when I saw more vowels, but I have ordinary. Amazing. So, do I have anything else? Well, I have nothing ending in V, nothing to hook may, nothing in row D, nothing with the Q. No, I just need to wait for opponent to make his losing move. Fantastic. And this is without either of the blanks or the last S. So, row N or column 2. Very hard to distinguish them. Yeah, ordinary in row N places a consonant above the triple word square. Ordinary in column 2 places an I next to the triple word square where the B could go. So I think that suggests row N is better. However, I prefer column 2 because if I play in column 2, opponent is not going to bingo in column 1. Ah, opponent's moved. What's he done? He's played just the W. Okay, so he is going to bingo. I think I do this because if I played ordinary in row N, opponent would have a bingo in row O, which would get tripled. If I play ordinary in column 2, then he's not going to bingo in column 1, I don't think. He might, but it's less likely than in row O. This is 66 points. This will take me to 440, 120 point lead. I can survive anything. Let's find out. So, does opponent have a bingo placing his B next to this I? EM, I think, may come to my rescue. So, I lead by 130. Opponent's only going to get 2 on count back. 123. Is he going to get 123, even with the best case scenario? No, I don't think he'll even get to 100. So, and, well, he is going to bingo because he's got row N bingos, Benny's, for example. Suberin in and Mays. But he's got 8 minutes. He may well be looking for something amazing in column 1, but that's only going to reduce his losing spread. And opponent goes out with Biogens, which was a good spot. And the final score, 422 for opponent, 452 for me, a winning margin of 30 points, so a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. Wow, what a game. What an amazing finish. So, it was opponent to go first, plays trump. My rack, and I have regmaster for 40, which looks best. Nice spot by opponent of cuz. And I have the J, and I play G for 35. That looks fine. Opponent's rack plays Z. And now I have Shingly, and I did have the tramp extensions with this rack, but the bingo was better. Opponent's rack plays Oof. And now I have this horror show. And I play power at J11 for 20. Yeah, AIN a lot better than AU. Now, opponent's rack. Missed bingo. Driftier. Wow, in the very column that he played, he had a bingo through that eye. So, a spot of good fortune for me. And Tahini's is the bingo I play, but there are no alternatives, which suggests to me that maybe Tahini's doesn't have an anagram. Because I think if it did, it would play in row E. Now, opponent paying the price for his missed bingo. Not only do I get my bingo down, but he has a poor rack. Plays dirts, which sorts it out. And this is the rack I really struggled with. And in the end, I went with oak. And yeah, that looks fine. And I have a 100-point lead. Opponent plays dull, which sorts the rack out, leaves RST. And now another troublesome rack. A13, woven, that's nice. What do? I play love for 18, keeping towny. Yeah, not a huge difference in scores. And love burns the U. But woven has the advantage that it keeps only one scoring tile and it blocks row A. And look at this, opponent has this row A bingo, which woven would have blocked. And then if that had been blocked, his alternatives scored a lot less. So I think woven was better than love. Now I play woolly for 20. B4, down here, keeping NT. B5. Well, B5 owly for 25. Tricky. Scores 5 more points, but enables opponent to play in row A and place a big tile on this double letter square. That's the reason I have doubts about it, but I don't think much between those plays. Look at this, opponent has the blank from this point in. No bingo, plays Vogue. Now C1. Kintar, yeah. I think that would have been better than Chin, because a Q in column 1, not particularly dangerous, and with 2 blanks to come, tile turnover I think was good. But Chin does have the advantage of keeping fairly bingo-y tiles. Now, opponent's rack. And a ton of missed bingos, including inseams in row D. Slightly difficult to see, but just tons of others, a lot of them H1 across to the T, and I wonder if opponent overlooked that T. It's something I've done in the past, that there is a floater on the board and you just don't see it, and once you don't see a floater, then obviously you don't see any bingos that utilise it, and looking down here, a lot of these missed bingos do play in that spot. Anyway, a missed bingo, and I have this rack with a lot of ease, F2, D8 and EM, not a fan of that. Doesn't score enough, provides access to column 1. So I play date for 22. And now opponent's rack, and again, missed bingos, including winches. Let me just check. Yeah, opponent does miss that bingo. And can't see any reason why playing C would be better than playing the bingo. So winches, N7 and N6. Wiccans, Wincers and Wincies, all of the bingos playing in row N. Now, I was feeling pretty gloomy at this point. I have a non-bingo-y rack. I didn't think I had time for it to become a bingo-y one, and I was expecting my opponent to bingo given 2 blanks unseen and plenty of lanes. So, certainly don't like owner. Not going to bingo with that. I played tire for 11, giving what I thought was the most bingo-y rack leave. Opponent sitting there with 2 blanks and an S. Wow, D2. Insinue. 100-point play. Would that have been enough for opponent? No, it wouldn't, because I had ordinary. So opponent is doomed to lose. Plays O. I now do have my bingo. And the best opponent can do is, well, 94 points, and opponent gets 93. And that's 30 less than he needed. So absolutely amazing game. And there were some really tricky racks in the middle there to deal with, and also towards the end when I played tire, I thought my winning prospects were really, really low, but I maximised my winning chances, I think, by playing IE and then drew an unblockable bingo, which guaranteed the win. So super exciting stuff. Many thanks to opponent for a good battle. I hope you enjoyed watching that video. Like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.